Have you ever seen a headline that made your heart race? One that confirmed your firm belief about something, so much so that you immediately wanted to share it? But what if it wasn't true or only partially true? In a world full of noise, how do we separate fact from fiction? The answer lies in three simple steps: pause, pinpoint truth, and proceed with purposeful forethought.
From anyone, we stand American together.
Hi, I'm Angie, and welcome to American Together, a channel dedicated to finding the truth, making informed decisions, and taking meaningful action together. Like many of you, I've been growing more concerned about where our country is headed. So at some point in my ponderings, I started wondering, where does the US rank among the world's democracies? We'll explore how these rankings are determined and by whom in another video, but for now, here's a very short summary of what I found. Since 2016, the US has not been considered a full democracy. Instead, we're listed as a flawed democracy. We didn't get there overnight or because of any one administration. In 2023, we ranked 29th in the world. Let that sink in. The most powerful democracy on the planet ranked 29th. I was shocked, so I started digging deeper. Why have we dropped? Different sources give different reasons, but one major issue stood out: the need for stronger civic education. It isn't that civics isn't or wasn't taught. I think we all had civics or social studies classes in school. I just think that we hadn't had enough life experiences to want to keep that information in our brains at that age. We didn't see the importance or relevance to our lives. But education, that's something I can help with. I've been an educator for over 35 years, working with students of all ages, and I'm an American, born in the heartland in Nebraska, near the exact center of the US from east to west. You can't get much more American than that. But I'm not special. I'm just an average American, tired of misinformation used as a weapon by all sides to pull us apart. And here's the thing. You don't have to be special to make a difference. We all can. There are a lot of us, Americans that is. And if we all make a little difference and combine all those little differences, that's one big difference together. That's why I started American Together. This isn't just about fact checking. It's about using the 3Ps clarity method to think critically, filter out misinformation, and make well-informed decisions. If we want a stronger democracy, we need to pause before reacting, pinpoint the truth through careful thought and research, proceed with purposeful forethought, taking action that is informed, not just emotional. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the noise, this is the place for you. We'll tackle not just fact-checking, but also how our systems of checks and balances is supposed to work and why it matters, how emotions shape what we believe, and how to recognize when we're being manipulated, how to have productive conversations with people who believe in misinformation instead of arguing, how to spot manipulative language in news and politics so we can recognize spin and bias, and much, much more. Misinformation spreads fast because it plays on our emotions. It's human nature. We're more likely to believe something that aligns with what we already think, and we're way more likely to share something that sparks outrage, fear, or validation. But here's the problem. If we only share what feels right instead of what is right, we can unintentionally spread misinformation. When facts become blurry, trust breaks down between neighbors, in communities, even in our democracy. That's why fact-checking matters, and that's why I created American Together, to help all of us get better at recognizing what's real, what's misleading, and what's just plain false. So, how do we cut through the noise, find the truth, and make smart decisions without getting lost in endless research? My 3Ps clarity method. The 3Ps clarity method gives you a simple framework to approach any claim or headline with clarity and confidence. It doesn't replace learning the skill of fact checking or source analysis, but it reminds you what steps to take each time. Pause before reacting, pinpoint the truth through investigation, and proceed with purposeful forethought. Over time, using this method will make finding trustworthy information and spotting misinformation faster and easier with 3 simple steps. Pause, pinpoint truth, proceed with purposeful forethought. The first step in my method is to pause. When you see something shocking, take a breath. Resist the urge to share immediately. Just that short pause can stop misinformation in its tracks. Then the second step is to pinpoint truth. Look deeper, even when the information comes from a source you trust or someone you support. Truth isn't about loyalty to a person or a party. It's about facts. The more important a person is, the more they have to rely on others for their information. That's why we need to think critically about the facts we see and hear. Who published it? Is the source credible? Can you find the same information from multiple trusted sources? We'll talk more in depth about how to determine if a source is credible, etc. in another video. And the last step in my method is to proceed with purposeful forethought. Once you've verified the facts, then you can decide whether to share, or maybe just keep scrolling. Fact-checking isn't about proving people wrong. It's about making sure we get it right. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about. Imagine if everyone thought exactly the same way. Sounds like it'd solve some problems, right? But actually, be a disaster. Take my husband and me. We could not be more different in how we think. He can look at something and instantly see how it works. I can't even open a medication bottle without reading the instructions first. But give me a manual and I'll follow it step by step until I get it right. My husband, he won't. He hates manuals. Alone, we'd struggle. His finished product might not match the picture, but it'll work. Mine will match the picture, but it might take me 3 hours longer. But together, we can actually build something that works and looks like it's supposed to. That's why I value his input and perspective. I don't always see what he sees, and he doesn't always see what I see. But together, we make a stronger team, and we have for 25 years. Once we, as Americans, have all the facts, we'll probably still arrive at different conclusions, and that's okay. We're all different with unique backgrounds and life experiences. This channel isn't here to make everyone come to the same decisions. My goal is for each of us to make our best, most informed decisions based on truth, and maybe start seeing the value in listening to opposing views. Now let's open up the conversation. Before you type your comment, try using my 3Ps clarity method. Pause, take a second to think before responding. Pinpoint truth. Are you basing your response on facts? Proceed with purposeful forethought. Are you adding to the conversation in a meaningful way? Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever changed your mind on a topic because you took the time to fact check or reflect? Or did today's episode reinforce something you already believed? And here's something to try this week. Put the 3Ps clarity method into action. Whether it's a news article, a conversation, or a social media post, take a moment to pause, pinpoint truth, and proceed with purposeful forethought. Then come back and tell us, how did it go? This channel isn't about censoring or forcing people to agree. It's about taking the time to listen, understand different perspectives, and approach discussions with thoughtful reflection together. I welcome different views, but I expect respect. Disagree, that's great. Explain why. I want to understand. Have a different angle, share it. Here, we use our differences as strengths, not weapons. And if you'd like a little extra help shaping your reply, I've linked my 3 Ps in Action comment edition in the description. It's the same process I use myself to pause, pinpoint truth, and proceed with purposeful forethought. Just to give you a sense of where we're headed, American Together includes 4 series: the 3 Ps Clarity Method, Civic Spotlight, Truth Check, and Taking Action. Each one builds on the others, guiding us from clear thinking to purposeful action. At the end of the day, our differences don't have to divide us. They can be our greatest strength. This channel isn't just about my voice, it's about ours. Together, we can create a space where average Americans share ideas, listen to each other, and learn from our combined experiences. Your perspective matters. And when we put all those pieces together, we can make a real difference. So don't just watch, join the conversation. Drop a comment, share your story, ask a question, or offer an idea. We have so much knowledge and experience among us. And when we work together, we can find solutions and build understanding. Let's be part of the big ongoing conversation that helps make America stronger together. Don't worry about reading all this here. The full list of sources is in the description and on my site, american-together.com. I share them because checking sources matters just as much as checking headlines. Hit the thumbs up and join the conversation in the comments. Together, we're not just watching, we're building something. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Remember, pause, pinpoint truth, proceed with purposeful forethought. Join the conversation. See you next time.